What is going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome back to another Dragon Ball fan manga review, where today we're going to be reviewing the fan manga entitled Dragon Ball Multiverse, which of course is a fan manga set within its own timeline involving characters from both Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. But the overall concept of Dragon Ball Multiverse involves fighters from different quadrants and parallel worlds in which come together for this grand multiverse battle to determine which universe and team is superior than the rest. And for many years now, I've been reviewing Dragon Ball fan concepts and mangas, so today we're going to be diving further into this manga chapter to further understand the gravity and nature of Dragon Ball Multiverse. And with that, we kick it off with Dragon Ball Multiverse manga chapter number 12, Between Earth, on April 20th and the 7th of May at the age of 774, and it says the story took place in the universes 4, 16, 18, and 20, as we see Gohan and Goten, with Gohan having to say, "Goten, where are you? We were supposed to train. Since he flies perfectly, we'll never know where he can be." And we see Goten flying around thousands of kilometers away from Gohan and meeting up with Trunks. And during this time, we understand that Trunks and Goten are having some fun, and they're pretty much doing what kids normally do and causing shenanigans. We see Trunks actually create this massive tidal wave in which engulfs an entire ship, but then to our surprise, we see a hand emerge from the water, and we see Broly emerge, and he says, "I sense Trunks and Kakaroto," not knowing the fact that Kakarot and Goten are very different. And we get to see the events after what happened, in which it says, crashed against the comet and the Genki Dama, Broly lost his legendary Super Saiyan transformation and wandered nearby in space. The gravity of the new planet Vegeta sucked him back in slowly, and alone for 6 years, he slowly got back up on his feet. Once ready, he focused on his goal to find his best enemy. He detected powers and went to them without starship or air. When he saw the Earth being exhausted, he let himself loose unconsciously. So Broly was wandering, flying around in the depths of space for many years until he came across Earth, and once he saw Earth, he pretty much caved in. He was very tired and he went plummeting down onto the surface. And then we see how Goten says, "Did you at least see the ball?" as they're talking, with Broly coming out of nowhere and saying, "It's them, I'm on the right planet." And we see how Trunks is saying, "Hey, do you feel something approaching?" And we see how Broly completely clotheslines both of them, and because of the immense pressure that Broly caused, Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Krillin also pick up that something is going on between Trunks and Goten. And we see how Broly, he's punching Goten, he's punching Trunks, and Broly says, they seem way too small. And in which case we see Gohan trying to make the save. He comes and Trunks is in the water. Vegeta also arrives. Everyone's trying to get to the kids because they notice that something is wrong. Their energies are depleting, with Krillin having to make his way with 18, and we see Broly choke Goten, and just as he kicks him, out of nowhere Vegeta strikes Broly because Broly noticed that something else is approaching him. So just as Vegeta is now beginning to punch Broly, Broly is smiling, and Vegeta in a bit of rage says, "Where is my son?" And Gohan goes in the water as Vegeta is fighting Broly, and Gohan having to say, "Vegeta is already there, I feel the kids, and now I don't know anymore. Does that mean that?" Because Gohan doesn't know if they're alive or dead. And with Vegeta, he's fighting Broly, and it's a back and forth kind of contest. So while Gohan is in the water, he's looking for the boys. We see android number 18 also assist Gohan in trying to find them, all while Vegeta is handling Broly, with 18 having to say, "Krillin told me the situation, I will look for the little ones, go fight Gohan." So 18 pretty much tells Gohan, "Go, Vegeta needs you." And just as Broly is fighting Vegeta, Broly says, "Not afraid of me anymore, Prince Vegeta?" with Vegeta having to say, "You remembered how to talk," which I found to be very funny because Vegeta is pretty much insulting his way of speaking. But either way, with that being said, Gohan emerges from the water and he says, "Quick, Vegeta, we must finish him before he turns into the..." And then right there, as he's talking, Broly does indeed transform into the legendary Super Saiyan form. And at that point, Gohan says, now that he's like this, nothing will hurt him. And Vegeta having to say, "I know that already, but it's been a long time since Cell. You're beneath our level now, legendary failure." And Vegeta charges at him yet again, with Gohan having to say, "No, don't do it." Now keep in mind, it's been many years after the events of Perfect Cell, but even with that, Broly hits Vegeta, and we see how Vegeta goes flying. And while this is happening, Android 18 emerges from the water with both the kids, as Gohan looks at Goten, and Goten's all bloodied up. His nose is busted, his teeth are all bloody, and Gohan erupts in a rage-like state to where he transforms into a Super Saiyan 2. And just as Broly was about to finish off Vegeta, Gohan comes in with a swift knee to the face and elbow strikes Broly down into the water, with Vegeta having to say Gohan is back to his good old days. And then as Piccolo is there, Piccolo says yes, he is the strongest for now, but as you know, Broly's strength keeps on increasing. And while all that is happening, Krillin is talking to 18 about taking the boys to Dende, and in which Piccolo says Broly can't be beaten the normal way, with Piccolo having to say we must attack him at once. Vegeta says keep your own plans, we don't need them, and just as that is happening, Broly begins to power up even more. So remember, keep in mind, this manga chapter, this overall chapter, takes place during the events of the quote-unquote Broly Second Coming saga. So this is the other variation of what would happen if Broly arrived, and Goku even feels this overwhelming power with King Kai as he says it's Broly, and then King Kai having to say no, I mean just Goku, no hasty moves, because King Kai is telling him don't do anything crazy, with Piccolo having to be back on Earth saying you're going to like my plan, we're gonna keep Broly busy and you throw your most powerful attack to finish him, with Vegeta having to say this won't do any, with Piccolo having to interrupt and saying and your attack will push him into the sun. So that's pretty much the plan. Piccolo wants to go on ahead and launch Broly back into the sun, so Vegeta cocks his arms back for the final flash, and we see how Goku is about to use instant transmission, and King Kai having to say Broly is significant danger, so you can't just go, but we need authorization first, with Goku having to say we don't have time for that. So once again, Goku breaks the rules in using instant transmission, and King Kai having to say I'm with you Goku, but you can't leave for more than a second, and Goku transforms into a Super Saiyan 3 and saying me, I'm not leaving, I'm just training a little, can't you see? With Broly having to have a grip on Gohan, he's choking Gohan, but at the same time, everyone's trying to jump in, and Piccolo says, do as Vegeta, Gohan, you have to go on ahead and charge up the Kamehameha, because again, keep in mind, the overall plan is to send Broly into the sun. And then all while that's happening, Piccolo is getting choked out, he has his arms ripped off, so Broly is beginning to rip off Piccolo's arms, and right then and there, Gohan launches the Kamehameha, with Vegeta having to see, I see, so you're not gonna wait for me. So Gohan didn't even wait for Vegeta, he fired off the Kamehameha just as Vegeta fires the final flash, and Goku appears for a split second to unleash his Super Saiyan 3 Kamehameha, and it strikes Broly. It hits Broly, he's sent off flying, everyone pretty much powers down as Goku leaves. Gohan turns around saying Dad, confused as to what happened, but if you look at Piccolo, his legs are gone, his arm is gone, and Piccolo having to say if you aimed well, Broly won't come back, the sun burns much more brighter than our attacks. And it says indeed in universes 4, 16, and 18, fallen into the sun, Broly untransformed and died instantly, but in universe 20, Broly's life had a stroke of luck. So it turns out in this one universe, it looks like after they fired off the Kamehameha, nothing worked, which is why if you guys go back to the previous manga chapters of chapters number 10 and 11, we see that Broly had survived before in his respective universe, that being universe number 20, he was the strongest one that ever existed, which this gives us evidence as to what happened, because after having to tank Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan's Kamehameha waves, and Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta's final flash, by the end of it, they completely missed in sending Broly into the sun, which why over time, Broly had come back even stronger in destroying everyone, as we've seen the end result as to what had happened. And for me personally, it makes sense to have Broly as the sole survivor of one particular universe. However, even during this point, he even manages to surpass the powers of a Super Saiyan 3, as seen in the Dragon Ball Multiverse chapters before, as Broly was able to contend against Super Vegito and Super Saiyan 2 Vegito, as we see Super Saiyan 3 Vegito commence as Super Saiyan 3 Vegito fired Broly off into space, in which now we're going to be going into Dragon Ball Multiverse manga chapter number 13, entitled What's Left of a Cyborg Without Humanity, which is going to be the next chapter kicked off after this. But post your comments down below, what are your overall thoughts on Broly having to come back for his second coming and having to beat down the kids, but also contest against Piccolo, Vegeta, and Super Saiyan 2 Gohan and holding his own? And what are your overall thoughts on Broly having to survive the universal traits of Vegeta, Gohan, and Goku for the moment being, and not being launched into the sun. In the other universes, he died instantly, but here he survived as he was sent once again flying into the voids of space. Thank you all for watching, guys. Once again, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to go on ahead and subscribe for more news, information, updates, and of course manga chapter reviews. If you guys enjoyed the review, be sure to go on ahead and leave a like down below. Tune back in for more. Again, I like the overall concept of Broly having to come back, even though he spent 6 years having to get back on his feet, having to recuperate and learn how to transform into the legendary form once again. Now after he came back, he was able to contest against everyone no problem. And what I loved about this the most was the fact that Broly was actually able to rip off Piccolo's arms, even Piccolo's legs having to be shot off by everyone. He was able to regrow it back once again. But I also loved how Broly beat down the kids and having to execute and utilize Android 18 and finding them and having to take them to Dende's. Keep in mind, this is the only universe that was doomed once Broly had survived. But if you guys are ready for the upcoming manga chapter, let me know in the comment section below. If you guys want to go on ahead and read more manga chapters, I have an official playlist down below where you guys can go on ahead and check out various different manga chapters and mangas that I've reviewed before. Thank you guys for watching so much. Tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing you all in the next fan manga review. Take it easy, guys. Peace.